little too strong, almost banked it.
So if you're the Utah Jazz, you are now down 2 starters in this bubble. So the guy with the ball has got to create a lot of shots for himself and the guys around him.
And that jumper pure by O'Neal.
And that is exactly the Utah Jazz. They depend on the guys who can get off the dribble to touch the paint, and then they spray out to shooters. #1 in the league by percentage from three-point territory, the Utah Jazz.
Murray to Jokic, you'll hear that refrain a lot. And it ends how it usually does, with a bucket by the big man. Gobert with good position on Jokic and missed it from point-blank range. Got a great look at it. Here's Michael Porter Jr. His first starting playoff action and looking pretty relaxed and poised, belying his age.
How talented is this young man? 6'10" per game, and you heard Countdown talking about this prior to tip. He's plus 14 here in Orlando. He has earned the starting 3 spot. I don't see him relinquishing that for the next, who knows, 10 years. Look at how sweet shooting. To rise and fire your first playoff shot off the bounce.
And here's Ingles. The Jazz have been shooting a lot more 3-pointers here in Orlando. Something they had been very intentional about. On the blow by Ingles, gets the layup.
And without Mike Conley, Joe Ingles, who has hurt this team in the past. Mike Malone was telling us that yesterday. He's concerned about.
Mike Conley was playing very good basketball, his best basketball of the season. Right before he had to leave, he was healthy and looking very fit, and much of that better than he was back in October when the season began. After the Gobert layup, Utah with a 1-point lead.
And Mark, because it's such a recent story, the departure of Mike Conley, we've yet to talk about, as Jamal wiggles his way in, that 2-man game so effective, we've yet to talk about the fact that the Denver Nuggets, too, are struggling without some personnel. You've got Will Barton, who is their slithery starter, can get into the paint, and Gary Harris, who's one of their excellent defensive players on the perimeter. Some would say their best perimeter defensive player. So neither team 100% relative to where they started the season.
Yeah, you would never know with the great depth that Denver has, able to come in with a Michael Porter Jr. to help ease the load. Jokic just takes his time and methodically knocks down the mid-range jump shot. There's a look at Harris and Barton. On the right and left, respectively. Gobert inside with a nice feed from Ingles.
And that's what I'm talking about with Joe Ingles. Leads his team in assists. They're going to need his ability to play make a little bit, get his teammates involved.
Boy, Millsap was trying to post up, calling for the ball, didn't get it. Craig from the corner, side pocket 3, good. Torrey Craig knocks down his first field goal of the ball game. In 3 games against Utah, and 1 and done at the offensive end this time. Michael Porter Jr. steps into a 3 confidently, his second one of the ball game. Michael Porter down by 4. Torrey Craig has historically presented problems for Mitchell. This time, Donovan Mitchell knocks down the mid-range jump shot.
You're right. In the matchups this year, Torrey Craig had limited Donovan to 5 for 20, but Donovan looks locked in and ready to roll here.
Jokic on the baseline. Craig from the wing. Over Niang.
That's huge, Mark. I mean, he's...
Morris. Dozier kicks it out to a wide-open Grant. And he hits the 3. Grant just inside the 3-point line. Defensive play and a steal by O'Neal, but they took it away from him. Porter Jr. with the finger. Guy who made second team all seeding games. Donovan Mitchell knocks one down from long range. You know, Donovan Mitchell struggled so much in one game against these Denver Nuggets at home in Salt Lake City as Jokic knocks Gobert to clear it out. Mitchell, oh, he punches it home.
20 points first 3 years. Jokic, boy, oh boy, if you're 7 feet and you reach, Donovan Mitchell just says, that's a big mistake. And how about the adjustment as Grant comes over? Wow.
He double clutched on that.
My goodness, just elite level athleticism to make that kind of adjustment.
It would be selfish of them as teammates to not get over things. And you know what? Finds Gobert at the free throw line, and boy, Rudy step back 3, heat check. And he's sizzling right now.
They needed him to be super aggressive, and he's got the ability, and you can see in a one-on-one situation, he's got the handle, the fakes necessary to get to where he wants.
3 of 6 from downtown. And Jamal Murray. 3-point ball game. Murray into traffic. Tough step back. Murray got all the way to the paint and banks it home for Clarkson. Blows by Porter Jr. and finishes at the rim. Wow, that's an impressive rip move and bucket. Jordan Clarkson off the bench with 10. Millsap goes to work over the short. Stares down Jokic. He's a friend of that. Here's Mitchell. A chance to close out the half with a nice layup.